Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to Wednesday night generational wealth. As we always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. The Calvary is not coming. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. Once again, it's up to us to save us. If you have been missing the mark on financing, how to get your people, how to get your kids involved in financing, talking about generational wealth, this has been a show that has been geared towards you to be able to benefit from the resources that is in our community. Okay, we are unapologetic about it. The Calvary is not coming, the creek is rose, and the levee is giving way, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to us to save us. So once again, tonight we got a great, great show. If you have questions about what your finances are, what you need to do in the business, what's going on in our community, we often say that there's no resources in our community. Well, we have learned that that's not the case. And what has been one of the biggest trademarks in our community is the Indianapolis Black Chamber of Commerce. They have been instrumental in helping Black businesses in our community become better equipped to be able to compete on the business market. Okay, so once again, we have the Indianapolis Black Chamber of Commerce here tonight. They're going to talk, he's going to talk to us about what is the state of the community that we live in when it comes to business in the African American community. He's going to break it down for us. He's going to talk to us about the resources. He's going to talk about what some of the things that they have to offer. Once again, the Calvary is not coming. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. So many times we're talking about what the slap was with Will Smith and Chris Rock and all of those other things, but we're missing the mark on what we need to do to impact our community. So when those type of events happen, we can control the narrative. They can't control the narrative for us. We have to be able to be in control of what we do. And it starts in the Black community, dealing with finances, dealing with businesses. And we have a great guest on the show today. Once again, we're going to be welcoming the Black Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be bringing in Greg Hicks from the Black Chamber of Commerce. He was called him a couple days ago. A friend of mine knew him. And she was like, I can't come. I'll do the behind the scenes stuff. And she said, I'm going to send another person. Okay. And so when he came, highly recommended. And then I gave him some questions. He said, hey, tell me what you want to hear. And I said, well, the main thing is we want to do a State of the Union of what's going on in our community. And so without any further ado, we have the Indianapolis Black Chamber of Commerce here tonight. He's going to talk to us. This is a number that you can get in contact with him. He's going to talk to us about everything about what the state we're in, what some of the resources that are out there, how do we access it. He's going to flip us on our head and shake our pockets. And so, so we're going to say the Calvary's not coming, the creek is rose, and the levee is giving way. Greg, thank you for being on our show tonight. Tell us a little bit about you and what you represent and what you do at the Chamber of Commerce.
Definitely. First of all, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is a great platform, and I'm excited for this opportunity. So thank you. So just like you said, my name is Greg Hicks. I am the Chief Financial Officer for the Indy Black Chamber of Commerce here in Indianapolis. So excited about that role. I have been a community partner with the Indy Black Chamber for about 3.5 years. Started when I was doing a marketing role for a mortgage company where I was out in the community doing community engagement activities, first-time home buyer seminars, credit seminars. I got involved with the chamber, wanted to speak to the businesses, building that partnership, building that relationship. Well, that role ended. Ended up doing some budgeting consultation. That's I currently do that now, working for Thrivent Financial, where we do a free budgeting curriculum. We offer, tips around savings, around budgeting, around controlling your expenses. So touch base with our executive director, Larry Williams. Wanted to see how I might be able to tie in. He said, hey, I want to engage even further than that. Let's have a conversation about you coming in on staff. as far as from
Wow.
working the financials, helping this organization out to grow financially. I came on board last year, so I've been working with the chamber for over a year now, and excited about that. Overall, my background, I have over 17 years financial industry experience, working in banking roles, personal lending, community engagement activities, debt consolidation, things of that nature. So, well equipped as it relates from a financial component standpoint. But now I have the opportunity to work in this nonprofit space where I'm talking directly, working, doing financial management pieces and curriculums through the Indie Black Chamber with our Black businesses, our minority businesses. And it has been a growing experience for me, definitely.
Wow. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, he said that listen, the Calvary didn't come to him. He went to the Calvary. The Calvary came, the creek rose and the levee gave way. Once again, we have somebody who is very competent in dealing with finances. Somebody's very confident in getting capital. Somebody's very competent in the housing. And from what I'm hearing, it's a father, a mother and son that runs the Chamber of Commerce. So we definitely going to have them on the show because it's talking about generational wealth. So it's one generation to the next. So once again, let's get straight to it. What is the state of the African American community when it comes to finances and business in our community? What is the state of
Wow.
where we're at?
Such a profound question.
Okay.
As we talked earlier, I usually try to simplify it as best as I can.
Mhm.
And I like to just really pinpoint it right where it's at. Financially unstable, yet spiritually hopeful. And what I've learned when I say that, it goes in so many different areas because one, we work with numerous businesses. And the first thing everyone always says is, I don't have the access to capital. I don't have the access to capitals. And that's true, right? There are some barriers as it relates from a racial standpoint. I understand that completely, altogether, wholeheartedly, as access to capital being, a major component as it relates to, the sustainability of Black business. But at the same time, there is access out there. But a lot of times we have to do our parts in searching for that, in finding those resources, in participating and doing what we need to do from an entrepreneur standpoint, from an ownership standpoint. That goes so long, and we as a community, we're just not there. We're just not readily available as far as to seek out. We are readily if we put forth the effort, but we always make excuses as it relates to to not doing it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so yeah,
So you said that the resources are there, and
yeah,
this is what we've been saying. So let's talk about it from a standpoint of, and let's break it down because, like you said, it's a broad question. What is the state of the union of the Black community? Well, let's talk about credit. Okay, is there credit out there that we're missing the boat on? Is there credit out there? Is there programs out there?
yeah. I'm gonna give you a quick example, something that even from my personal lending experience. I worked in the personal lending sector for over 7 years, and here's something where from my end, monthly, once a month, I would have at least 1 to 2 people that will call in and ask for a loan. I'm the type that I'm a very transparent person. So I'm one who, I ask probing questions, getting information as far as what they need the loan for, what's the reason. And a lot of times it's, we want to purchase furniture because I'm purchasing a home. Oh, congratulations on that. Tell me, what process are you in? Oh, I'm gonna be closing next month. Okay, wait. Now all of a sudden, now my ears are ringing because it's like, okay, wait a second now. You're about to do something that's damaging to your credit, right? You asked a question about credit there. You're
Mhm.
about to have your credit pulled by a personal financial company, and you're in the midst of closing on your home. Something that we all seek out. We want to have the largest asset that we can have, and you're about to mess that up because now you're doing something that is detrimental, that could be detrimental because what we don't know is, hey, they run another check right before the closing. But again, if you're not you know financially competent or financially literate as it relates to that, you wouldn't know that. And as I could say, for the whole time I was there, I would get calls once or twice a month from applicants that's saying that same thing, and they were all Black individuals.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So
So,
again, when you talk about credit, yes, credit options are out there. There are secured options out there for people that do have bad credit. There are programs out there for people that have bad credit. But again, you have to know where to look, where to search, and getting with a resource like the Indie Black Chamber, we can help point you in that direction.
okay. So the Indian Black Chamber. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to make sure that we're saying this the right way. He's telling us there's resources out there. He gave us a nugget. He said when you're getting ready to purchase a home, where you get ready to get finances, getting ready to secure a loan with the bank, the number one thing that you should not do is go out and try to get more credit before you get the credit, which is a major purchase. So once again, I think it comes back to, Greg, a lot of times, and what I've seen being in the mortgage industry and being in the housing industry, it's all about prioritizing what is important. What is important that it can cause you to get in a better position. And a lot of us, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you see it all the time. A lot of the times is that it's not that we don't have access to it. From what I've seen is that we haven't put a premium on being good stewards over what we do have.
I agree with that.
You
I
know,
totally agree with that.
so
Yeah.
when what have you seen in the Black Chamber of Commerce? People, I know you guys put on a lot of different programs, right?
Mhm.
Do you guys
Absolutely.
have some training tools for the community that's dealing with, so if I don't know how to run a business, do you guys have some of those tools to teach me how to run the business?
Absolutely. Yes. So with
So
the Indie Black
elaborate
Chamber,
on that.
yeah. So with the Indie Black Chamber, we all of our programs, all of our events, all of our structure is based around three pillars. Those pillars include education, workforce development, economic development. Okay, so from an educational piece, we have business training curriculum, business training programs, wealth building for business ownership. That's our class that we have. That's a 10-week business training class to where we have, we build a platform as far as the foundation, how to have a sustainable business, the ins and outs. This program is for everyone, from whether you're just putting your feet in the door, trying to test out this entrepreneurship avenue. You have the idea, you have the concept, but you don't know how to kind of put that all together. That's for that person. That's for that individual that's been in the business for 3 to 5 years. So we work with all spectrums of individuals throughout this class, but we bring that foundational training to you. We hold it twice a week. It's at our downtown facility, so it's in person. So we're connecting, we're building relationships, we're providing you with those resources. We bring in public facilitators that's in that area. So we have lawyers that come in, and speak to you as far as with, different things related to trademarks and things of that nature. We bring in insurance agents. We build a platform for you so that you can come out of this class, this 10-week class, with a business plan. You understand how to pitch your business,
How to pitch it.
which is key, right? So a lot of times we're timid as far this is supposed to be your baby. This supposed to be your baby, but we're timid to talk to people about it. So we help you out as far as with that, with that structure, how to feel confident in what you're doing, and to deliver that pitch successfully.
Okay.
So it's a great class. But yes, we have educational classes.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, so the resources is out there. Okay. Once again, he just gave you. He said they're going to teach you, give you a business plan. Any bank is going to want a business plan. They're going to want your insurance. If you are in any type of business, you got to have insurance. If you're in the construction business, you got to have insurance. If you're in the housing business, you got to have insurance. You got to have insurance for your employees. So you have the resources to do it. Okay. The cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee has given way. It's up to us to save us. Once again, we say that there's no resources out there. The Black Chamber of Commerce is out there. It's for minority businesses, right? He said that they have a 10-week program. If you don't bet on yourself, how can you expect others to bet on you? If you can't take out 10 weeks to make sure that your business is running and functioning properly, how can you really go into a bank and ask for $2,000? How can you even go in there and ask for 2 pennies if you're not willing to invest into yourself? So, Greg, let's talk about what is some of the biggest challenges that the Black Chamber of Commerce had experienced with getting us involved in what you guys do.
You said it right there, involvement. That's the biggest challenge, just not having our people as far as from the involvement to support. Obviously from our end, let what is a chamber of commerce, right? Let me answer that first. A chamber of commerce is a form of business network, with the goal in mind of furthering the interests of businesses. Well, from the Indie Black Chamber of Commerce, we're doing it for the minority and the Black community. We recognize, we understand that, in order for Indianapolis as a whole to succeed, the Black community has to succeed.
Wow.
We saw the lasting effects of what COVID did, to Black businesses. 20% of businesses closing, because of the pandemic. So we recognize our executive director and our board chair. The two founding members of the Indie Black Chamber. They are successful entrepreneurs. They are business owners. They've lived it. They
You breathed it.
blood credit, yeah, sweat and tears in this. So again, this organization is around being a supporting advocate for Black and minority businesses here in Central Indiana. That's what we're here to do.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Okay.
definitely.
So let's get some stuff together. What do we need to do to get involved in the Black Chamber of Commerce?
Mhm. For one, becoming a member. Our membership is a point to where we feel it's very feasible for a small business. It's $200 annually. It's basically what the membership cost is. We also have a large business membership that's 500, and then we have our corporate memberships. So one, first and foremost, become a member. Right. So once you become a member, then you have ties to our business network, ties to business referrals, depending on the type of membership that you have. Like I said, free to pretty much all of our networking events. You get our informational newsletters. So we structure as far as to promote and put you in the seat of, okay, well, this grant opportunity is there. This digital platform for education is there. This is here. This is so we provide our membership as far as with those lasting effects that can help strengthen your business. You get discounts as it relates to our educational training programs. A lot of times it's actually, depending on the type of program and what the components
Okay.
are, it could be free. So again, becoming a member, that's the first thing. But then secondly, like I say, again, it's not all about, obviously our membership is where our growth comes from as an Indie Black Chamber. But at the same time, we're doing so much to the community, whether you're a member or even a non-member. There's a lot of community engagement activity. We offer, free workshops on Wednesdays to where you can come in and just get information as far as to a certain aspect of the business. You can just come to our downtown location, 202 East Market Street, right next to the city market. That's where our office is located.
Okay.
So again,
Okay.
this is it all, and you said the right word there, involvement. Just getting us to just stay and be involved, recognizing that we are here to support and advocate for our businesses. But there are multiple resources, but we just want you to come down, talk to us, have conversations with us, learn just exactly what we're doing as far as for the community
Okay.
related to Black
So
business.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, we got to understand that when we support each other, we're supporting ourselves. So a lot of times we don't understand that, we got to get involved in the resources that we have, because if we don't use it, then, you'll lose it. Okay. So, the Indie Black Chamber of Commerce, they represent us. We network with people that look like us, act like us, think like us. And when I go into the store, I want to see a Greg Hicks. I want to see what he does and how he brings it to his family. Okay. So, we often talk about we don't have any banks here. We don't have any hotels downtown. Well, this is the start. We got to pull our resources together so that when we talk about the Chamber of Commerce in our community, okay, I'll say it again, the Chamber of Commerce in our community, we can stick our chest out and say, we're pulling our resources together to create that bank or to create that financial institution that promotes what we're doing. I often say we have the Black Expo here, we have the Circle City Classic here. Those are great national revenue streams that we can take advantage of. We have the Indie Black Expo here. We have the Indie Black Chamber of Commerce. The headquarters is here. Our mother and son created this opportunity for us. We can take control and control the narrative. And when we start to control our own narrative, then we can really, really make an impact.
Yeah.
What? So my next question is, what do we need to do, okay, as a community? Because you guys are on the boots on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we? Because we always talk about the problems. We don't ever discuss the solutions. Okay.
Mm.
So we want to be solution driven. So what do we need to do from the Indie Black Chamber of Commerce perspective?
Yeah.
What do we need to do for my listeners, all the businesses that are out there? Okay. This is the marching orders. Okay. From Indie Black Chamber of Commerce, this is our marching orders. What do we need to do from the Indie Black Chamber? I know you guys have talked to banks. You guys have talked to the city councils, mayors, governors, and everybody else. What do we need to do in order to start to secure the financing in our community to promote business in our community? What do we need to do?
And you're right. We have, talking to the city council, we're involved. We're having these conversations, but it's, there's a further step. Then it comes to actually participating, actually supporting, actually being active. That's the big thing. There's so many different opportunities out there, and we have to stop being so quick to turn away from our businesses. I was thinking about this as I was driving in today, and it's like, okay, we all want to have great experiences with anything that we do, but anyone is listening to this right now, under the sound of my voice right now, has had some type of bad experience at Walmart, yet you still go to Walmart all the time. I was just thinking like, okay, man, thinking about some of the I went to King Ribs the other day, and I got some rib, I love rib tips. I think of how many times where I went to a popular franchise like KFC or Popeyes, and they were out of chicken. I'm like, you a chicken place? How you gonna be out of chicken?
Hey, you know what I said?
I get frustrated. But yet still, I ain't gonna never say I ain't never going to Popeyes. I ain't never going. I had a time where I went to King Ribs and they was out of tips, and I was mad and I was frustrated. But who am I to say, okay, you know what? I'm Xing King Ribs off the table. No, absolutely not. I went back, and still, because again, we have to support. We can't be so quick to just turn on our people. And I think that's what happens. That's when we find ourselves, we're so emotional at times to where it's, it's a fact of, oh, okay, I had bad service here. I ain't never going to another black, restaurant or black chain, ever. We have to get out of it. We have to get to a point to where we're supporting each other.
Okay.
So that's where that money flow. That's where that that black dollar will expand within our community once we get to that to that.
Okay, so you hit a good point. Is that we have to stop turning away black businesses. So even though we are coming up, and when me and you were talking, I was talking about our ecosystem, right? Our economic system that's in our community. So when we, just like I said, when in the natural, when something happens in one part of the ecosystem, it affects the whole system. Right. So when we don't support different businesses in our community, the restaurants, the hair salons, the computer technology companies, the mayor or the governor or the city councilman that's running for office, or the personal banker that came in to our office. And if we don't support those people that look like us, act like us, think like us, then we're going to be subject to people who don't look like us, act like us, and think like us.
Wow. There it is.
So,
There it is.
so, so like what you're saying, you're hitting it right on the head. You're saying that once again, we got to support our own, even though they are just getting started. And nobody goes into business and say, "I want to run out of chicken," or "I want to." We don't go into business, or we don't go into business and say, "I want to provide the worst customer service possible."
Right.
We don't do that.
We don't do
But
that. Right.
what happens is, because of the business nature that we're in, and it's very competitive now with the internet and technology and everything, it's very competitive. And so we must understand that it's more important now to support our businesses. It's easy to give somebody a good rating, but it's hard to clean up a bad rating.
There
I
it is.
often say that it's
Right.
easy to give somebody a good rating. It's very difficult to clean up a
Bad.
bad rating. So we must begin to support our people. And like my mom used to tell me, Cepeda, keep our business in house. What goes on in my house stays in my house. So we must begin to do that in our community, because we don't expose, what they do in their community. There's a lot goes on in their community that they don't talk to us about. But
True.
we want to expose everything. We want to do and I don't want to give no credits to foolishness, but we want to celebrate the Will Smith and the Chris Rock smack. But we don't celebrate that the brother actually did a great job of talking about. He did a documentary on two young ladies that affected the African American community, that really, 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 really impacted a lot of us young women. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about how they inspired a whole generation of young African American girls with beads in their hair that looks like them, act like them, and that's unapologetic. We miss that narrative,
Right.
okay, because of the smack. But we must begin to celebrate with the role that he represents. He wasn't there to smack Chris Rock. He was there to celebrate an image that was presented in our community that was positive. That's what we should. That was the smack right there. That was the smack. But we want to talk about, was he supposed to do it? Wasn't he supposed to do it? What Jada's doing, what he's doing. But we did it took the whole narrative off of the real smack. And that was, we had a brother that took out time to train up his daughters on how to be the greatest tennis players in the world. And that's what it was, a brother who did that.
Yep.
And so with everything that's said about us brothers, and I'm not disdaining the women and their strength and their movement, but we got some good brothers that's out here doing it the right way. And this brother did it. So the smack, it should have been a smack to say, hey, this brother really did it right. He got it right with Serena and Venus, instead of the smack of saying, hey, this is Chris Rock. Well, how should he have reacted? So once again, getting back to that was my soapbox. But let's good point. Good point. So once again, when we're talking about our community and we're talking about finances, how is the banks responding to our businesses? What does the banks think of us?
Now that's one that I love that question, because that's one thing from an indie Black Chamber standpoint. We have, majority of our community partners are banks. So these banks are wanting to get involved. They're wanting to figure out how to get in front of more, minority business. They are seeking this. So that's one area to where, when we was talking earlier about, us being involved and us trying to, to find solutions and actually, looking for these resources. Banks are coming to us like, hey, can we get how can we get involved? So that's one area where banks are trying. From the grounds of having programs and resources that are available to help boost business credit, business knowledge, business sustainability. That's where you want to start. That's where that underwriting comes into play, to where, okay, which banks can we use? Which banks, are better at this or better at that? So within our right now, it shows our 10-week program for businesses. Within that program, within that 10 weeks, we bring in banking partners. So we're putting
Hold
again,
on,
we're
hold up.
putting these.
Hold up. I want to make sure that my listeners understand this. You sign up for the 10-week program, you're gonna be in front of some banks.
They
Okay.
gonna bring the banks to you.
Once again, the cavalry ain't coming. The cavalry ain't coming. You gotta get involved in what is out here so that we can take advantage. We gotta have people that support what we're doing. And I want to be the first one to admit. So the number one thing I often say is that we have to be transparent in what our faults are. Okay, because we're not always going to knock a home run. I often use the baseball analogy. The guy gets up there and he strikes out 7 out of the 10 times. So that means he's a 300% hitter. But if you're a 300 in the baseball league, then you are considered a rock star. So that is the mentality that we must commit to when we're talking about setting up businesses in our community. You're going to get networking. You're going to be able to 10-week program. And I left it up there for a reason. Okay. I want to drive home the 10-week program. Okay. If you are looking for financing, if you are looking for businesses to network with, if you are looking to get involved in promoting your business and you don't know how, but you got a great idea, come down to the Indie Black Chamber of Commerce and we can get you on. And the brother Greg, he even good at financing. He said he can put you on a budget. So once again, you have a mentor that has been there, done that. And he said there are banks that are chomping at the bit to get your businesses. So once again, holding them accountable. So if you come down, so we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Not only do we must have the access, but we also must qualify. Okay, they're not going to give you money because you look like us, act like us, and be like us. In fact, they're going to shut the door when that happens. But what you must do is you must set up your business the right way. So many times, Greg, I've dealt with people. They've come to me, says, "Payne, I want to get a mortgage or help me with my business credit," and then they haven't filed their taxes in 12,000 years. Yep. Okay, they don't have a bank account. Okay, they don't know what a DUNS number is, and then like you said, there's no chicken at chicken coop. Okay, and then they said there's no funding at your institution or you're giving bad information, but it's not that. It's that we're trying to educate you on the process to qualify to get a loan so that you can finance your business. And it starts with you. It don't start with me. It starts with you. And so once again, you're saying that banks are fighting y'all to get in. So the resources are there. Okay. Let us get behind what you guys are doing so that we can start to be able to capitalize on some of that funding, so that you can be a corporate member for the Indie Chamber of Commerce instead of a personal member. All right. And so once again, off the gate, I was not a member until I called Katrina Stovall. I coached her daughter doing basketball. And so she was like, I'm a member of she said, I'm passionate about the Chamber of Commerce. And shouts out to Katrina because she puts me in contact with the right person. I got to become a member. I got to get involved. I got to get active. So brothers and sisters, it's not just y'all. You know, we got to understand that we're in this fight together. We're in this fight together. So not only do you guys got to get active, I got to get active, he got to get active, and so we can support one another. Okay. What else do you think that we can do to help jumpstart this movement to get be a part of the Indie Black Chamber of Commerce? Because if we get more members, then the chamber becomes a lot stronger, right? And then we become a lot stronger, then we have a lot more weight. And then we have a lot more weight, then we can start to say what goes on in our economy, okay, in the Black economy. So what else do we need to do?
Yeah. And again, don't sit back. Obviously, we've been talking about this, right? We're talking about, right now it's starting, stop turning away, Black businesses. We let our emotions get involved. If it's something that you're not getting or not receiving, be vocal about it. I'm a very transparent individual. So, from my end, I can take it. If it's something you have some complaints, usually when if people complain, okay, oh, when Andy Black, first thing I always say, hey, are you a member? And, you find out, no, I'm not even a member. Okay, well, let's talk about it. And if you were previously a member and you just said, okay, well, I wasn't receiving this or I wasn't receiving, did you reach out? Did you try to, did you voice that before you just gave up? So again, we have to be vocal because I'm one that, hey, if it's something that we had an event in February and, there was someone that came up and said, hey, I emailed, a year ago trying to get some information about the Indie Black Chamber and what you all provide. And I never heard from nobody. And that put a sour taste. And I I understand that because that would put a sour taste in my mouth as well. I was like, but obviously from that point, they just stopped communication. Gave them my card right there. Email me. I will answer those questions for you.
Well, hold up. You got one-on-one access to Greg now.
One-on-one. Let me answer those questions. I want to answer those questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all are not getting that at Chase Bank. Y'all are not getting that at the Chamber of Commerce at the other place. Y'all not getting that. So once again, this is us being user-friendly to us. So right. This is how we can control our own narrative. So if you don't have a mentor, you no longer have that as an excuse no more because everybody needs budget. So now we got Greg. He's the CFO in the Black Chamber of Commerce. Secondly, he have banks. He have access to banks. The CFO know banking presidents directly. Once again, he said it on this show that they're begging him to do business. Once again, if you are struggling with your business, you need to get with Greg to set up your company so that you can get the finances and give back to the Chamber of Commerce and use it as a testimonial that you heard it on here first. Okay. Thirdly,
real quick, I see Kimberly's question about finance and promoting. We talked about that 10-week class that we have.
Okay.
Here's the big thing here. One of our banking partners, First Financial Bank.
And guess what? They are a part of what we do here at MA&D Capital. In fact, Mimi is
Mimi. That's what I work with. That's my girl.
Mariah. See, before First Financial became over there, they came and did the seminars with MA&D Capital Investment Group. That's how Mimi blew up. Wow. My daughter is a personal banker at First Financial Bank. So we want to give them some shout out because they're a member of the community. If you are trying to get a secure credit card, they are one of the banks that we utilize. And every bank has a credit score, and that bank is one of the ones who have the highest credit scores who will impact your credit, business credit, your personal credit, all of that. They are the ones who can do it. And even if you are in check systems, they have a fresh start program that you can get involved with. Once again, let's give them another shout out. First Financial Bank is they're waiting on you. Go down to the one downtown, ask for Mariah Jackson, personal banker. Let's utilize her. Let's make her great so that we can look like us, act like us. That's who represent us in our community.
Right. Well, we have a microloan program partnership with First Financial. So those that take this 10-week business class that we've been talking about, at the end of that, they can get in front because they met that requirement of going through the 10-week class. We don't just, leave you at that. We're saying, okay, now that you've successfully met the requirements, boom, now we're going to set you in front of a loan officer at First Financial. We have a microloan program where they can get up to $10,000.
How much?
Up to $10,000.
A PPP loan
to support their business, to get up and running.
What?
Our last class that we had, 90% of the people that applied got approved.
Stop right there. Slow down.
So here we are talking about capital options. I saw the question that came up that said finance. Here we are. We're providing those opportunities.
So if your business, so now the cavalry has came now. So the cavalry can't say the cavalry ain't even came. The cavalry has came. So now I want to be cognizant of his time. I got 6 minutes, so y'all better get y'all questions in. So once again, so let's use it on the baseball narrative. So every time he gets up there, 9 out of the 10 times he gets up, he knocks a home run or he gets a base hit. So 9 out of 10. So 9 out of the 10 people got finance. So evidently, somebody gave you guys the proper information to get finance. When you say partnership, they are the ones who are out here. If your business is struggling, call Mariah, First Financial. We're going to put their information up later, and we're going to make sure that you guys have access to First Financial. You can inbox me on our website. I will get you in personal contact with Mariah Jackson, and she will make sure that you get in contact with the right person. Okay. Mimi got her start right here on this show. Okay, right here at our seminars, right here, Miss.
Yeah.
When you're doing good business follow you. Okay. And a lot of times we have a bad experience. I don't know no business that I've had a bad experience. I use StreamYard. A lot of times I couldn't log on, whatever. Microsoft, sometimes it crashes. Stock market crash. I don't know no business that has had a perfect record the whole time. None. Zero.
Right.
If you know one, tell me about it, and then I'll go and I want to work for that company. But anyways, we have to, like you said, we have to give people the space to make the mistakes and keep utilizing them and keep supporting them, and don't badmouth them to somebody else. That's another thing that we got to stop doing. Is quit badmouthing our businesses in our community. Go to them directly. Say, hey, listen, you provided a bad service. What are you going to do to correct the problem? And then once they correct the problem, go and tell somebody else that, hey, they did a good job. Don't talk about the bad, just talk about the good job that they did. Once again, First Financial Bank is one of you guys' partners. Who are some of the other partners that you guys have that you want to give shouts out to? Because we want to support the people who's supporting the Indy Black Chamber of Commerce right now.
Oh, definitely. We have other community organizations like KG, Community Action of Greater Indianapolis. They're a huge partner with us. Then we also have, our financial components. Bank of America has been huge to the Indy Black Chamber. Lake City, TCU. So, like I said, when we're talking about banks, we have some good banking partners that have come in and really supported, as far as we're saying, okay, we want to support the initiative as it relates to economic development for Black and minority businesses.
Okay, so I want to get these last 3 minutes in because I got you for 3 more minutes. Mm-hmm. What is some of the things, if I'm a business, what are some of the things that I need to do to get together to get qualified for some of this funding that you're talking about? What do we need to do? Give me 3 things that we really need to focus in on if I'm looking to get finance from one of these partners that you guys have.
Yep. Once, not being leery as far as with, a lot of business owners, I hear it's all the time, coming in saying, okay, well, I ain't got to worry about my personal credit. You kind of spoke about this earlier. I got my business credit. No, when you first start off a business, you're trying to sit in front of these banks. They're looking at your personal credit. They're going to take your past 3 years of your personal credit. So we got to get you into a point to where you are handling your personal credit accurately. I said, when I open up the show, I do budget consultations. It's a free service sponsored by Thrivent Financial. You can log on www.thriventfinancial.com/money canvas. It's called the Money Canvas program. I teach about how to build an effective budget, how to grow your savings, how to spend more mindfully. It's a 3-course curriculum, completely free, free to the community. Okay?
Free.
Yes.
Free. It's
Thrivent.com money canvas.
It's free, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't got to pay for it. Now, y'all know when y'all come to me, I'm charging you. When they come to me, I'm charging you. I'm charging you out the gate. We ain't going to discuss nothing unless we start. No, I'm not. So free. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're struggling with finances, call us. We can help. What else? What's the second thing we need to do?
Again, we talked about getting involved, looking for those resources. So again, we want you to become a member. We want you to, even if you're not a member, at least log on, check out our website, ndbcc.org. A lot of information about what we have going on, our events, our networking activities. So again, you can get involved with, everybody always think it's all about money. No, even if you're not a member, we want to still support you, right? We want you to become a member because then you're going to really be able to get the resources. But
Yeah.
just that involvement, having that involvement in place, I think that
Okay.
goes a
And
long way.
so I want to make sure. So if you're looking to get these type of loans that they're talking about, be a part of the 90% group, you got to get your personal credit straight, right? Along with your business credit. Secondly, you got to join the Chamber of Commerce so you can get your network at your downs because they want to show, you got to show that, hey, I can get some clients. Okay. You got to network, promote your business, self-development. Okay.
Self-development. And then what we're going
Self-development.
to do is we're going to put you in front of how to build that business plan because that's that key. You got to
Ooh-wee.
so many businesses, they might not have the best credit that qualify for these micro loans. They're a micro loan for a reason. We know that people we're putting in front of them might not have the best credit and meet all the metrics that your normal personal loans would take at your banks. But because you've done your part, you've went through this class, we've showed you how to build a successful business plan. Now you can lay that out to the bank and they'll say, okay, this is your business. You have the backing of the Indie Black Chamber. We support them. So we're going to support you.
Well, so once again, you saying that we got your back. So I know I got to let you go. I want to be mindful of your time because I know I want you to come back. So I know how we are. If we're not mindful of our time, then they ain't coming back.
I'm coming back. This is great.
So once again, thank you, Greg, for coming out and being a part and showing us how we can do better. I'm going to invite you back now. So I'm telling you, now you're on our national show. You got to come back now, okay?
I'm coming back.
So now we want to have you come back. Thank you, Greg, for coming in. If there's anything that we can do, I'm going to be reaching out to you. I'm going to be a part of what you guys are doing. Not only am I going to be a part, we're going to be promoting you guys for the next however long we be doing this. And we want to set up, and I think me and you talked about it, setting up our State of the Union every month.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that every month we talk about stuff in our community. Once again, thank you, Greg. I know he got another meeting to get to, but if there's any more questions, we're going to be able to get to you. Okay. Thanks a lot, Greg.
Thank you. All right.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we had Greg here talking about the Black Chamber of Commerce and what we can do to help us get to where we want to be. One of the things that Greg talked about was being qualified in order to utilize these banking opportunities that we have. The Calvary is not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. So what must we do? One, we got to get qualified. It's not just that these banks want to lend to us, but we got to qualify, okay? The first thing you got to do is get your credit straight. In order for a bank to look at you, a lot of times they want you at about a 700 credit score. Okay. When you're talking about a 700 credit score, that means that you got to clean up some of the things that's on your credit. We're going to be having a 700 club. That's why I wanted the 700 club. That's going to show you how to get your credit score up to where your business can be thriving also. While you're getting your business credit up, you can also get your personal credit up. Once they get up, then your business credit can start taking off by itself. But it all jump starts with your personal credit, okay? The third thing you got to do is you got to network, okay? We have to stop criticizing the businesses in our community. We have to start utilizing, okay? There are banks out here that would love to use our services. We have to make sure that we're putting the best foot forward. He talked about it. Once you become a member of the Indian Black Chamber of Commerce, then we can literally start helping out ourselves. It's up to us to help ourselves. We must begin to network with one another. It's important that you get a mentor, okay? It's important. If you're going to have a business, you need a mentor. You need somebody who you can bounce some good ideas off. You can have some bad ideas off of. You need a mentor. I have mentors. That's one of the reasons why I've been successful. I have a lot of people that mentor me or counsel me or instruct me in areas that I'm not fluent in. Okay. So you're going to make the mistakes, but what do you do of bouncing back from those mistakes? I often say that you don't want to fall on your back. You want to fall forward. If you fall forward, that means that you're going to do a push up and you're going to be a lot stronger. Okay. So make sure that if you're going to fall forward. And one of the ways that you can fall, if you're going to fall, is to soften that fall by having mentors that have been there and done that, and they can kind of encourage you and walk you through the process of how you can jumpstart your business once you make a mistake. Okay. We must begin to start to analyze what is going on in our community. The cavalry is not coming, the creek is rose, the levee is giving way. There are resources out here, just like this computer program. If you don't know how to turn on your computer and make the system work, it's no good. If we don't know how to make the system work for us, it's no good. And that's what most of us have done. This is a show that's geared towards making sure that you have the proper resources in order to be successful. There's an old saying out here, and a lot of people have read this book, and there's a big saying right here, is think and grow rich. That's a book by Napoleon Hill. And Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki talks about how the mindset of the rich are and how the mindset of the poor are, and we have a lot of motivational things. But at the end of the day, okay, you must begin to think of yourself as a viable business if you're going to be successful. You cannot listen to what everybody else is saying around you. You have to stay focused on what you are called to do with your business. Okay. We're talking about generational wealth. When you start to focus in on what your business can do and quit looking at what other people are not doing, then your spouse, your children, your family members will start to see you in a different light. Yes, you're going to have people that will come and criticize and talk about what you're doing and what you're not doing. But remember this, you were the one who came up with the idea that you can do something that is different than everybody else. That's what a business is. And if you got the resources, you said that you would make a change. And now you have the resources. The number one thing that you got to do is surround yourself with people that is going the direction that you're going. Surround yourself with individuals that is going to motivate you. Sometimes you might even have to get rid of the people that you've been dealing with in order to get closer to the people that is going in the same direction you're going, so that you can start to bet on yourself. Okay. And that's the key. We bet on ourselves here at Mad Capital Investment Group. You have to bet on yourself. The cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. You got to get in the game. You must begin to develop yourself so that you can be acceptable in this viable community that we're in. I was looking at a TV show, and I was reading the Wall Street Journal a couple of days ago. And one of the things that they said in the African American community, within the next 5 to 10 years, we will be extinct. As far as businesses, we will be at the lower half of the wealth gap, even further away from wealth than what we are right now. And the reason was, they said that because of technology, that we are not getting access to capital, and because we don't have access to technology, then that will put us even further behind than our counterparts. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to get involved in our community economic system. It is an ecosystem. We must get involved into our schools. We must get involved into our businesses. We must get involved into our wealth. We must begin to talk about credit. We must begin to talk about wealth. And most of all, we must begin to talk about mentorship and how do we support one another. That is key right now. We must begin to support one another and motivate one another to do better. Yes, everybody's talking about the Will Smiths and the Jada Smith. Everybody's talking about the Chris Rock incident. I choose to talk about this. What if we had our own Oscars and we celebrated ourselves and controlled our own narratives? And yes, that was very hard to watch. It's very hard for people to talk about. And people are looking at us in a different way. But let's use this as an opportunity for us to come together and not tear us apart. So when you see somebody talking about that event, let's take that opportunity to say, let's talk about us doing a business together. And let's talk about us combining our resources. Let's talk about us doing a Chris Rock and a Will Smith and a Jada Pinkett show to where we got the next G.I. Jane. We're going to finance it through Spike Lee, 50 Cent, and some of our own leaders, the Oprah Winfrey's and the Michael Jordans and the Magic Johnsons of the world. We're going to support our own TV show. That is what we need to get to, talking about generational wealth. And that's a better narrative than what we are experiencing now on national TV. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to us to save us. The Calvary is not coming. The creek is rose, the levee is giving way. It's up to us to believe in what we're doing and to believe that we can bet on ourselves and receive the outcome that we want. No, there's nobody who's going to just hand it to us. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But what I am saying, there is tools that we can utilize in our community right now that can cause us to do better than what we're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to us to save us. Share this with somebody else. Get your family together. We're going to be creating a 700 Club, and we're going to be promoting this within the next week or so, and then we're going to be coming in and actually creating the 700 Club to get to the 700 credit score so you can start a business and have wealth in your community. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to start sharing this, put it on Facebook, share it with somebody else, have conversations with your friends and family and coworkers. Talk about it. Talk about, why don't we talk about credit? Why don't we talk about growing our businesses together, combining our businesses and being able to impact our community? Support the businesses in our community, especially if they've been on this show. Go out and say, hey, I'm here because I saw you on the show and I want to support what you're doing. And tell them about the Indy Chamber of Commerce. If you are looking for a business 10-week program, I left the name up there. I left the number up there. The 10-week program, Mariah Jackson is somebody who you can call at the bank, and she can get you into the right directions to where after you complete the program, you can get the monies that they're talking about, and we can get into detail on that. But it's up to you to take advantage of the opportunities that is out here before us today. Until next time, keep betting on yourself. Once again, the Calvary's not coming. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to have the best business for you and your family to create that generational wealth. I want your cup to run over. I want you to be so financially set to where you have enough to help out somebody else. It's very difficult to help out somebody else when you don't have enough for yourself. So I want you to have the best out of everything so that your cup can run over and help somebody else. Till next week, keep betting on yourself. And remember, if anybody tell you anything different, you tell them to come and see me. The Calvary is not coming. The creek has rose and the levee has given way. It's up to you, the person in the mirror, to encourage you, the person in the mirror. Till next week, keep betting on yourself. Next week, we're going to have an awesome show again, talking about, you got to tune in to find out, you got to tune in to find out. Keep betting on yourself. The Calvary's not coming. Creek is rose. Levee is giving way. Till next week, keep betting on yourself. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.